that remotely?
She does.
Okay.
Oh,
Good
nice.
morning. I will call the March 16th, 2022 meeting of the Harwich Council on Aging Board to order. And I'm not going to call, as of yet, for a motion on minutes because they're not included. We'll wait for the next meeting to do those. But I will ask if there is anyone present who would like public comment. Seeing no one in attendance, and ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching our meeting, we are being filmed today here at the Harwich Community Center in the studio of Channel 18, where we meet monthly. If you would like to join us at all, feel free. We do have chairs for those who wish to attend. I will go right in. We're going to be quick today. As you know, Emily has been out sick.
Yeah, that's what she did.
And she just didn't feel she was ready to come back. She didn't.
Right.
In case she was contagious in any way, she wanted to make sure everyone was safe here on this board. So I appreciate her doing that. At the same time, before I move forward, I will announce that formally Justin White, who has now been appointed in the last 2 weeks a captain on the fire department, is officially a member of this board. Unfortunately, his group is scheduled to work today, so he could not be with us. But I'm just so pleased to have an official member of the committee who is a member of public safety.
Oh, I know, it's terrific.
And he and Captain Leanne Smith have just done wonders for us, as well as Sergeant Amy Wallach from the Harwich Police Department. And we'll quickly check in with everyone. How is everyone doing? And,
Fine.
and I know you're all very involved in your different volunteer efforts, both here and elsewhere in town, so we do thank you for that. I have included, if you would, in your report, Emily's report, and she is looking at overall operations of what's going on, and I'm just going to read it for our viewers at home. This is from Emily Mitchell, the director of the Harwich Council on Aging, and her report includes an overview of current and anticipated operations for March of 2022. The majority of programs that were paused throughout the Omicron surge resumed the week of February 14th, Valentine's Day appropriately. The two programs still altered or paused at that time, Congregate Dining and Senior Fit, resumed at full capacity the week of February 28th. And as we sit here on March 16th, Senior Fit is in full function. There are 60 people in the gym as we speak, and glad to see these programs back up and running. As of this month in March, we are back to the fullest scale of operations we expect until we are fully post-pandemic and or until we expand staff capacity. Ongoing pandemic restrictions include individual program capacity restrictions, strict pre-registration and sign-in requirements, and ready contract tracing protocols. Staff capacity impacts our ability to onboard new types of programs. And you don't realize the impact on staff capacity till 1 or 2 people in the department get sick. And then the remaining 1 or 2 members of the staff are overloaded trying to keep programs and the operations going at the same time. And I will, as I always do, give kudos to the staff for doing that during this recent staff sickness. The March-April edition of the newsletter is included and outlines the full scope of program details, including new programs and updated session updates for recurring programs. We're particularly excited about the new 10-week Computer Basics program and one-time events surrounding older adult sexuality, skin cancer and care, and financial benefit programs. All fitness programs also have new dates and detailed sign-up protocols. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching and you don't get a copy of this newsletter, it is 16 pages, just chock full of information, programs, services available not only to our older adults, but to their families and caregivers. So I would strongly recommend you call the Council on Aging here at 508-430-7550 to get a copy of this newsletter. It is mailed out to many people, and you can most certainly be added to that list. Moving on.
And I would comment about
Please.
one thing. I just learned a new word.
What is that?
On board. As a verb.
What is it?
On board. She onboards new types of programs.
and
Oh.
onboarding.
On board.
Never heard that before.
Yeah.
I hadn't
You
heard
haven't?
that put
No.
that way,
Yeah.
no, you're right.
I thought it was very clever.
Well, and I'm sure some of our viewers are also new to that word, so thank you for sharing. In this age of Wordle and doing
I
our
know.
word puzzles every day.
My daughter has been doing that, and she tried to get me to do it, I haven't done it yet. The other thing, with this newsletter,
Yes,
that people ought to be aware of too. A lifetime membership to the Friends is $40, and you'd get the newsletter
Mhm.
and all kinds of other good stuff. So, I think that's really well worth doing.
Carol, thank you for letting people know that, and just to explain to our viewers who may be watching.
Yeah, it's,
The Friends of the Council on Aging is a different nonprofit organization. And what the Friends of the Council on Aging does, as the liaison from this board to the Friends, every month they have a meeting and they invite the director, Emily Mitchell, into their meeting to ask, does she need anything that is not available in the budget or the upcoming budget that would address the needs of our seniors, their families, or their caregivers? And monthly, she will come in and say, I do need, we had a program done
right,
with lock boxes for people at their home, for the fire department, so that if someone had called, for instance, 911, and a door was locked, they wouldn't have to break the door in. They could use the key. There's a program for smoke detectors that has been financed by the Friends of the Council on Aging. And the Friends of the Council on Aging also have their own bus that supplements the work that's being done here at the Harwich Council on Aging. And that runs once a week for different routes that have not maybe
Right.
been encompassed by the COA van, but also does special trips, again, for socialization. They have their own mission, and someday we will, in our meeting, get into more of a detail of
Yeah,
what they do.
I just think that the Friends membership is kind of overlooked in a way. We are the directors and all of that, we oversee the town function. But the Friends really have a huge involvement that I think more people need to be aware of, and,
Well,
the lifetime membership is pretty reasonable.
It is pretty reasonable. And I will say that people in this community have been very generous to the Friends.
Yes,
The Friends van that was purchased a couple of years ago was as a result of a donation for a member of the community. Tremendous, and it was done in memory of his wife. And again, there's a beautiful plaque as you board that bus that recognizes her. So Carol, thank you very much for making that. Anything else in the newsletter that you'd like to highlight
Nope,
while we've got
that's
viewers
the only
looking in?
I wanted to
There's one more maybe we could even add on, because the community center also has a newsletter that I think many of our seniors might enjoy as well.
Sure.
Put out by Carolyn, and they can sign up for that as well.
And if they have any questions that, they can always call here at the Council on Aging for any of those questions, and they can be referred to the right people. Again, that number is 508-430-7550 for anyone who would like to call with any questions about the Harwich Council on Aging, and Ms. Chalaco with the opportunity to get on the mailing list for the community center as well. So,
And I would also point out that any contributions to the Friends are tax deductible,
yes, they are, thank you.
which they are not to the Council on Aging, but they are to the Friends. So,
But we'll always continue, while we're on this vein, to encourage those who have medical equipment that they are no longer in need of, that is most welcome here. As I was signing in this morning, coming in to the Council on Aging, someone was pulling out a shower chair
Yeah,
for their
I saw-
wife that was
saw
needed.
that.
And for those who don't understand that there is a full capacity of medical equipment available to be loaned out from the Council on Aging. So these are great commercials today, I appreciate it. Joanne, anything in the newsletter you'd like to highlight?
Nothing, maybe, I think sometimes we need a little more volunteers.
And spoken from one of our number one volunteers at the Council on Aging, Joanne Lepore, there's always a need. And every month we try to put it out there that we do need volunteers for, medical rides was an important one.
Yes.
And for some of our seniors who are limited with transportation choices, while we do have the bus service from both the council
Yes.
and from the Friends, there are specific medical rides that people cannot get to on their own.
That's true.
So it's a huge need here at the council. There is a program available, and again, if anyone would like to find out about that, they can call the council here at 508-430-7550. All right, let's move on briefly. Tomorrow night, which will be March 17th, the Finance Committee, along with the Board of Selectmen, are reviewing budgets, and the Council on Aging budget is on the docket for tomorrow night. Unfortunately, I have a previous commitment, and I cannot be there. Emily will be there. I believe that the additional staffing that had been requested by the department is being looked at favorably. However, with both the Finance Committee and the Board of Selectmen reviewing the budget at the same time, advocacy is important. Emily will handle the presentation to both boards. If anyone is available to be there tomorrow evening, advocating for Emily and the Council on Aging, it would be helpful. And every time that we have done this in the past, Emily does the presentation as the department head. We, as the board, sit there in support. And each time it has been recognized by both the Finance Committee and the Board of Selectmen, the passion that these board members have for this organization. So if anyone is available, it's 6 p.m. at Town Hall tomorrow evening.
I've been in touch with Emily about that because I was prepared to go that Saturday
Yes.
and it got postponed, so she gave me a heads up on this one.
Sure.
I will be
I
there.
plan to be there.
I will
Great.
be
And in the packet, I won't get into it because it's lengthy, there are the Council on Aging FY23 budget enhancement of service requests, which are there. And Emily will review that in detail tomorrow night. I just want to get into a few of her. We've got a conflict of interest policy, by the way, is attached. If you would kindly make, after the meeting, have an opportunity to go through that, that would be wonderful.
She said she was gonna have something for us to sign.
It's in the main office.
It's in the main office?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
all right.
and
Well,
you would sign it
I'll wait
after the
on that.
meeting, if you would. Is there any old business to come before us this morning?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Then I will ask if there's any new business to come before us this month. Hearing none. The conflict of interest law, as I said, is attached, please, if you would take time to read through. Once you have read through it, and it's important, that we not only read through it, we acknowledge it, and we agree to abide by it. And Mr. Angie, you're correct that the forms are in the office, and you can go see Kate after the meeting, after you check in, and she will give you that to sign if you would. So,
So noted.
our agenda is, again, limited today with Emily being out.
Right,
If there's nothing else to come before us, I will go around the room. Carol?
I'm fine.
Anything else? Angie?
I'm fine, thanks.
Ralph?
Shortest meeting in the history of the world.
Got me beat, Ralph.
We can go on if you like. I'm not looking to break your record. Joanne, anything else?
I'm all set.
Okay, just as a reminder to our viewers, please, that there is still a need for volunteers here at the Harwich Council on Aging. Medical drivers is one of the important ones at the moment, because we have so many folks who, again, are limited with their transportation options. And as we know, as a board, and as the Friends have been working on a sort of a strategic plan, that transportation is still one of the #1 issues facing our seniors and their caregivers on the Cape. And medical drivers are just sorely needed. And people, as we all know, we all have them today. We all have those doctor's appointments, and I feel blessed and very grateful that I have the opportunity to get to them on my own. There are others who cannot. So if anyone is available to spend a couple hours a month helping with medical rights, there is especially with what's happening with gas, there is a small payment that will help with gas, but the opportunity to give back, and those who need these medical rides are extremely grateful, and they're lovely people, and if we can help in any way, we would like to do so. I thank you all for being here with your time. For those who have watched our meeting here today, and again, anytime, you're more than welcome to join us here at the Community Center in Harwich Channel 18 studio for our meeting live. If there's nothing else to come before us, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
So moved by Angie Chilaki. Is there a second?
I would second that.
Seconded by Ralph Smith. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? can clean up the table after.